Part 60. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Dalby in the World. Chapter 591. Chapter 591 Information in the Desk Drawer 2. Qian Yuman felt very uneasy, and her hand holding the handle of the drawer couldn't use its strength for a while. Taking a deep breath, she intuitively felt that there must be the information she wanted to know in the drawer, otherwise it would not be locked. Qian Yuman slowly opened the drawer. There was a bag of information in the drawer, which said XX Detective Agency. Qian Yuman knew about this detective agency, the most famous detective agency in the city. Later, she heard from Mr. Tang that this detective agency was actually opened by the Tang Dynasty Group and was specially used to collect information. Qian Yuman immediately took out the materials, quickly untied the cowhide and pulled out the thick materials inside. Before Qian Yuman could take out the information and read it, there was a sound of footsteps at the door, and the sound was deliberately lowered. She glanced at the information in her hand, and finally put it back. Out of the corner of her eye, she spotted a photo in the information. The moment she saw the photo, she even forgot to breathe. Qian Yuman quickly put the information back into the drawer, locked it and put the key back into the bookcase. At this moment, the door to the study room opened. A petite figure appeared at the door. She was startled when she saw someone in the room. Shock flashed across her face. After she saw clearly that it was Qian Yuman, the shock immediately disappeared and she returned to her original expression. The corners of her mouth were raised, and two cute little pear dimples appeared at the corners of her mouth. Qian Yuman, why are you in Uncle Tang's study? The moment Qian Yuman opened the door, she pretended to be looking for a book and just happened to pull out a language book. Hearing Qi Yuking's voice, she stopped turning the book and slowly turned her head to look at Qi Yuking. It turned out to be Qi Yuking, which startled her. She thought it was Tang's father who came back, but it was him and she didn't know how to explain it. I don't have to answer you. There is a saying that when a love rival meets, he will be extremely jealous. Qian Yuman was troubled in her heart as to why Qi Yuking kept hanging around her. Didn't she break off her engagement with Mr. Tang? Why do you still appear in the Tang family so often? Don't you feel embarrassed? Why are you in Uncle Tang's room? Do you have an agenda? Qi Yuking's eyes were sharp and aggressive. She walked up to Qian Yuman and asked. Qian Yuman closed the book hard and looked at Qi Yuking displeased. What qualifications do you have to ask me? This is the Tang family. Do I need to report to you when I enter my father-in-law's study? But you, not from our Tang family, why did you sneak into my father-in-law's study? It can't be you. The family has some evil intentions and wants to steal the information of the Tang Dynasty Group. You. Qi Yuking's expression changed slightly, and she was momentarily stuck by Qian Yuman's words. I came here after I saw you coming in. Oh, did you see me come in? Then tell me when I came in. How many minutes have I been in? Funny. When she came in, she checked her surroundings to make sure no one saw her before coming in. He actually said he came in when he saw her coming in, and he didn't even make a draft of the lie. Tell me. What is your purpose? Qian Yuman held up the book in his hand, like a prosecutor questioning him, full of momentum. Qi Yuking's eyes turned slightly red when Qian Yuman was so frightened. You can't tell me. Why are you pretending to cry? Don't look like a white lotus. Others don't know your true face, and I don't know it either. How dare you enter my father-in-law's study? If I tell my father-in-law that you may have plans for the Tang family, I'm afraid you won't be able to enter the Tang family. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Dalby in the World. Chapter 592. Chapter 592 Information in the Desk Drawer 3. Qi Yuking didn't expect to be knocked down by Qian Yuman. She was frightened by her momentum. In addition, She felt guilty and didn't dare to look at Jian Yuman. I don't need to explain to you. Anyway, I'm not here to steal the Tang Dynasty Group's information. Xinglu wanted to read the Romance of the Three Kingdoms and asked me to come and get it. Qi Yuking's eyes flickered, clearly she was lying. Jian Yuman said again, why can't you see it? Qi Yuking walked around Jian Yuman, found a book from the bookshelf, turned around and left. Oh. Then I have to ask Xinglu to get to the bottom of it. Jian Yuman believed that she was right and deliberately made things difficult for Qi Yuking. Qi Yuking panicked when she saw Jian Yuman following her and insisting on asking questions. In fact, according to Lu Rong's instructions today, she learned that there was no one in the Tang family, so she was called to Tang Wentao's study to look for something. I didn't expect that Jian Yuman would suddenly appear, and she happened to appear in Tang Wentao's study. I was at a loss for a while and didn't know how to face it. Qi Yuking stopped and looked at Jian Yuman angrily. Do you have to follow me? Jian Yuman shrugged and smiled slyly. That's right. Since I caught you appearing in my father-in-law's study, I naturally have to investigate carefully to see if you have any intentions towards our Tang family. Jian Yuman deliberately made things difficult for Qi Yuking. Judging from Qi Yuking's appearance, he definitely didn't have any dissatisfaction with the Tang dynasty group, but he definitely had a purpose. Although Father Tang's study is not a forbidden area, few people enter it casually. Jian Yuman also went in. If she held on to Qi Yuking, she would inevitably be asked why she went in. She also went in secretly. She deliberately made things difficult for Qi Yuking, just to see her at a loss and acting like she had no choice. It's so cool to be like this, so cool. Qi Yuking was anxious and tears fell down. I don't really do what you think, I really just get books. Qi Yuking is really scared. She is not mainly afraid of Jian Yuman, but because she is suspected of being unruly to the Tang family at this time and will not be able to come in the short term. Even if she could come in the future, she would be wary of the Tang family, not to mention that she and Lu Rong's plan would continue to be implemented. Without her help, the plan to kill the child in Jian Yuman's belly would be shelved. Now that she is 3 months pregnant, she must speed up the execution, otherwise it will be much more troublesome to kill the child when he grows older. So, he must not be taken away by Jian Yuman. An evil smile appeared on the corner of Jian Yuman's mouth, like a superior queen, looking at Qi Yuking crying. I guess it's okay if I don't tell my father-in-law. You have to make me happy. Qi Yuking's heart tightened, and an excuse quickly flashed through her mind. Whether you believe it or not, I actually wanted to read this collector's edition of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. I sneaked in and stole it because I asked Uncle Tang several times to no avail. I knew it was not good to borrow it, but I was afraid of Uncle Tang. You will lie when you are angry. Please, don't tell Uncle Tang the truth. If you don't believe me, I swear. Then you swear. Jian Yuman was still there, as if she was watching something interesting. She just liked to see Qi Yuking confused. I swear, if there is even half a lie in what I say, I will be struck by thunder, and if there is even half a lie, I will die. Qi Yuking raised her hands and swore, secretly saying in her heart that it would never come true. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 593. Chapter 593 Information in the desk drawer 4. Jian Yuman shook his head. This is not serious enough. If you have multiple boyfriends in the future, you will be dumped. If you are raped by a group of men, your husband will cheat on you even if you get married in the future. Jian Yuman said a bunch of vicious vows in one breath to see if she will take the call. Even if such a vicious oath would never come true, she felt cold even if she said it. Qian Yuman looked at Qi Yuking as if she were watching a good show, waiting for her reaction. Qi Yuking looked at Qian Yuman in disbelief. She actually said such a vicious oath, which made her heart tremble slightly. Swear, this oath is too vicious. Qi Yuking was heartbroken and gritted her teeth to speak out the oath. Okay, I swear, if I lie to you, I will be like you said. I will get dumped if I have multiple boyfriends. If I am by a group of men, my husband will cheat on me even if I get married in the future. In order to stop Qian Yuman's mouth, Qi Yuking could only swear. She was still sarcastic in her heart. As long as her goal was achieved, what did today's vow mean? Could it really be true for her? It's impossible for Qi Yuking to have such a day. In the future, she will marry Brother Yu, and Brother Yu's ability will definitely protect her. Be happy now. When you are dumped by Brother Yu in the future and become an abandoned wife that no one wants, you will know who is the most pitiable person. Qian Yuman raised her eyebrows, but she didn't expect Qi Yuking to really swear. Although she swore a poisonous oath, Qian Yuman still would not believe that her purpose of going to Tang's father's study was pure. If it was pure, she would not have sworn a poisonous oath, and there was no need to swear a poisonous oath. Swearing something poisonous is so unlucky. The worst she can do is get caught and admit that she borrowed books. The more she swears, the more evil she becomes. However, she is smart and witty and has seen through everything long ago. A smile flashed in Qian Yuman's eyes. You swear can only prove your innocence at best, but you want me to help you hide it. Why should you let me help you? Qi Yuking's face was instantly blackened. This woman, she had sworn a poisonous oath, actually. Qi Yuking's face became ugly. She was usually very forbearing in front of everyone. She had always looked like a pure little white flower, and it was rare for her to show an ugly face. Ouch, you've changed your face, Qian Yuman laughed, very wildly. Okay, okay. I won't embarrass you anymore. As long as you promise me to stay 2 meters away from my husband, Tang Yuj, and not appear in front of us as much as possible, I will help you hide your stealing the romance of the 3 kingdoms. Qi Yuking took a deep breath. I promise you you won't be able to laugh for long, just enjoy the pleasure of embarrassing me now. Qian Yuman left with satisfaction and became happy. But after I calmed down, I still felt scary. Fortunately, Qi Yuking came and I could deal with it. Looks like you must be careful next time. It's really a pity that I didn't see what was in the cowhide bag, just a little bit. However, the photos in the portfolio still made her feel a little depressed. At least it shows that Tang's father really knew his mother, and he also specially investigated her, but I don't know what aspect he investigated. The mother in the photo was taken in recent years, and is a photo of their life in San Francisco. Could it be that he had been watching them secretly, and when he found out that her mother was sick, he secretly took her away? The more I think about it, the more likely it is. It seems that this matter must be carefully considered and investigated. If it is really Tang's father who took away his mother, some things would make sense. Why would he secretly take his mother away? End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 594. Chapter 594. Lu Rong was pushed down the stairs. Just imagine, one day my son brings his girlfriend home, and it turns out that his biological mother is his former lover who died in vain. Naturally, he cannot take her away openly. If it was really Father Tang who took him away, then Father Tang definitely had a purpose. After Qian Yuman made things difficult for Qi Yuking, the depression in her heart dissipated a lot. It turns out that bullying people is so fun, especially people she doesn't like to see, such as Qi Yuking. The dullness that had kept her depressed for several days had improved a lot. The enemy's greatest pain was the best healing medicine. Qi Yuking went to Tang Xinglu's room holding the romance of the 3 kingdoms. Qian Yuman did not go home directly because the matter of returning to the Tang family today had not been resolved. She did not dare to go to the study room for the time being. If someone caught her again, it would be difficult to explain. Now she knows that the information is in the drawer. After reading the information, she may know the truth. At least there is a general direction over there. The main reason why she didn't go home was because she wanted to get Tang's father's hair. The paternity test still needs to be checked, otherwise she will always be uneasy. Getting Dad Tang's hair is a technical job. Qian Yuman ran to the kitchen to make snacks. There had to be a reason for her sudden return, so she made some of Grandma Tang's favorite snacks and waited for Grandma Tang to come back. After the snacks were ready, Qian Yuman went back to the room to rest, waiting for Tang's father to come back and get his hair. Dad Tang always comes back later than everyone else every day. The Tang dynasty group can achieve its current scale without Tang Wentao's efforts. Tang Feishan was the first to come back. His face had been a bit ugly these days. Although he still had a smile on his face, he could tell that it was different from usual. Qian Yuman asked about it, but he just smiled and said it was okay. The second person to come back was Grandma Tang. When she came back, Grandma Tang saw Qian Yuman at home and smiled happily from ear to ear. The more times we get along with her, the more I discover the cuteness of Grandma Tang. Although she looks serious and unsmiling most of the time. However, when encountering happy things, sometimes she is like a child, such as Grandma Tang who is eating dessert at the moment. Tang Yuj came back next. After Tang Yuj came back, he directly joined the team to eat snacks, but Grandma Tang was not happy. How could she eat her snacks, so the two almost fought over the snacks. When Grandma Tang is with Tang Yuj, she smiles the most often. It can be seen that she loves Tang Yuj from the bottom of her heart. Tang Yuj also likes to act coquettishly with Grandma Tang, turning into a sweet-mouthed sugar baby. They were discussing what to eat for dinner when there was a flurry of footsteps outside, and they saw Lu Rong sitting in a wheelchair, being pushed in by Tang Xingai. Grandma Tang just glanced at it without any reaction and continued to joke with Tang Yuj. The person who had the biggest reaction when Qian Yuman arrived immediately stood up and stared at them. Xingai, Yanliu, didn't you go out to customize dresses? Why did you come back like this? At this moment, Lu Rong was very embarrassed. Her head was tied with gauze and her feet were also tied with gauze. Her face was a little pale, like a soldier who came off the battlefield. Tang Xingai immediately cursed angrily when he saw Qian Yuman. When we were crossing the ladder today, someone suddenly reached out and pushed my mother down the stairs. I couldn't pull her in time, so my mother rolled down 10 meters high. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 595. Chapter 595. Lu Rong was pushed down the stairs too. When we were crossing the ladder today, someone suddenly reached out and pushed my mother down the stairs. I didn't pull her in time, and my mother rolled down from a height of 6 meters. Tang Xingai said angrily, getting angrier as he thought about it. But none of them saw the murderer. They first sent Lu Rong to the hospital for treatment. Fortunately, the injury was not serious. Just like Tang Xinglu, there were a lot of scratches on her body. It would take some time for the injury to heal. She only needed a week's rest. They immediately went to the police station to call the police and called up the roadside cameras to see who did it. As a result, the surveillance on the TNT road section was destroyed, and they couldn't see who the murderer was. The murderer could not be found, so Tang Xingai thought about it all the way back. Although the police said they would try their best to find him, they knew that the probability of finding him was very low. Hearing the explanation, Qian Yuman felt a little gloating for some reason, but there was still a sympathetic expression on his face. That murderer is so hateful. Many people fell down from the ladder and became disabled. Fortunately, my aunt is not disabled. Otherwise, What would I do for the rest of my life? Qian Yuman said a few words of comfort, but they were very disturbing to Lu Rong's ears. Harsh. Grandma Tang ate the snack in her mouth and snorted coldly. Have you mother and daughter offended someone recently, which is why you all fell down the stairs? When Grandma Tang said this, everyone realized that Tang Xinglu also walked down the stairs 2 days ago, and now Lu Rong also pushed down the stairs. Both times were not accidents, they were deliberate attempts to harm him. After Tang Xingai heard this, he immediately gritted his teeth and cursed. It's too much. It's not enough to harm my sister. He's also harming mommy. If I know who it is, I'll give her a good beating. Tang Xingai waved his arms, wishing that the murderer was standing across from him, so he could teach him a lesson, so that he would know that the Tang family was not easy to offend. So, in normal times, if you do less immoral things and don't offend others, you won't be retaliated against, Grandma Tang said sarcastically, without the slightest concern, and instead rubbed salt on Lu Rong's wounds. It is said that the relationship between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law is difficult to get along well, and the same is true for Grandma Tang and others. Although Grandma Tang and Lu Rong usually don't quarrel, Grandma Tang never hides her dissatisfaction with this daughter-in-law, and from time to time she will say some sarcastic words to annoy Lu Rong. However, Lu Rong could only endure it. The most difficult person to offend in the Tang family was Grandma Tang. She had no choice but to be scolded unilaterally. Lu Rong's face became obviously more ugly, and her suppressed anger continued to rise. She lowered her head and tried to digest it. She has nothing but patience. As long as she says a harsh word, I believe Grandma Tang will find a reason to drive her away. Even if he complained to Tang Wentao, he would still be blamed. Wife, never think about winning a fight with your mother, especially if the Tang dynasty group is what it is today because of Grandma Tang's efforts to maintain it and then hand it over to Father Tang. In the entire Tang family, the person with the most say is Grandma Tang. Grandma Tang Xingai pouted and said unhappily. Why do you say that about Mom? Mom is so hurt that she can't stand up now. Oh, it's none of her business. Grandma Tang was silent. She still wanted to say a few more words that would make Lu Rong feel stuck. At this moment, Tang's father heard that his wife was injured and rushed back early. End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 596. Chapter 596. Lu Rong was pushed down the stairs 3. While Grandma Tang and the others were talking, someone on the side had a cold light in his eyes, and his mood became much happier. I said 2 words in my heart, I deserve it. At this moment, Tang's father heard that his wife was injured and rushed back early. Seeing Lu Rong's embarrassment, Tang's father inevitably asked thousands of questions. After learning what happened, he comforted Lu Rong with a few words. After Qian Yuman saw Tang's father coming back, her heart was definitely the most complicated today, and her mind was running fast. How to get hair from him? This is really a technical job. Qian Yuman looked at the snacks on the table, immediately took a piece of caramel pudding, held it in front of Lu Rong, and asked with a smile on her face. Auntie, would you like to eat a piece of pudding? They say that desserts will make you feel much better. You will forget all the pain after eating a piece of pudding. Qian Yuman said nice words and looked at Tang Wentao's hair. Lu Rong smiled gently and thanked her, then reached out and took the pudding from Qian Yuman's hand. Thanks. You're welcome. Qian Yuman smiled and took a step back, standing behind Father Tang. Keeping his eyes on Tang's father's hair, he suddenly screamed. Dad, why do you have a white hair on your head? Oh my God. While Qian Yuman was speaking, her hand sneaked into Tang's father's hair and pulled out several hairs with force. One hand stole a piece of hair and stuffed it into his pocket, while the other hand held up several strands of hair. "Ah! What are you doing?" Father Tang's face looked a little ugly, and he asked in annoyance while stroking his hair. Qian Yuman looked at Tang's father innocently, raised the hair in his hand and said, "I'm going to pull out my gray hair." "You." Father Tang was so angry that Qian Yuman couldn't say anything for a while. He was obviously only 50 years old, how could he have white hair? Although his hair was thick, he couldn't pull it out casually. "Dad, look at it if you don't believe me." Qian Yuman once again raised the white hair in her hand and said. Everyone's eyes fell on the black hair in Qian Yuman's hand. There were white hair follicles at the end of the black hair, which represented how healthy the hair was and how painful it was when it was pulled out. Qian Yuman's eyes fell on her hair and she smiled awkwardly at Father Tang. "Oops. You pulled it out wrong." "Dad, I'll pull it out for you again. I'll definitely pull it out right this time." Qian Yuman leaned over to pull it out again, but was immediately swatted away by Tang's father. "No need, don't come close to me," Tang's father said in disgust. Qian Yuman looked at Tang's father innocently, and did not forget to say a few words to herself. Tang Yuj and Grandma Tang on the side were directly amused by Qian Yuman's actions. Even Tang Xingai thought that her sister-in-law was getting more and more courageous and actually pulled out her father's white hair. Dad Tang will naturally not let go of anyone who hurts his wife. He has already sent people to investigate, such as who has recently become enemies with Lu Rong. There is no other way. The time when Lu Rong fell this time was too close to the time when Tang Xinglu's accident happened. People couldn't help but suspect that someone was targeting the Tang family. Not only for Lu Rong, but also for the safety of other people in the family. Qian Yuman stayed that night. After dinner, she did not take Tang Yuj home. In the past few days, she wanted to continue sneaking into Tang's father's study to see if she could steal the information. Qian Yuman couldn't see the content of the information. She felt very uncomfortable and looked for an opportunity to go to the study again. As for the black hair plucked from Tou Tang's father's head, she has already put it away. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 597. Chapter 597. Fei Chen wants to elope with Li Liwan. Qian Yuman couldn't see the content of the information. She felt very uncomfortable and looked for an opportunity to go to the study again. As for the black hair plucked from Tang's father's head, she had already put it away. The next morning, Qian Yuman parted all her hair and sent it for a paternity test. The paternity test would take at least 2 days to get the answer. Tang Yuj was very surprised. She wanted to move out a few days ago, but ended up staying one night and then came back to Tang's house. When Qian Yuman asked her, he just found an excuse to excuse her. She didn't know whether to tell Tang Yuj about this matter. She wanted to wait until the paternity test was completed before deciding whether to tell Tang Yuj about the relationship between his father and her mother. Even though she looked calm on the outside before the paternity test came out, in fact, an army of grass and mud horses was flying in her heart, and she was not calm at all. It's strange that she can be calm. Things that may happen in TV dramas will actually happen to her. The world is so big, how could there be such a coincidence? My mother has a relationship with her husband's father, and Tang Yuj lived next door to her house when she was a child. What a probability is this? If they are not biological brothers and sisters, it can only be said that they are two destined, but I don't know whether this fate is a blessing or a curse. These days, there are still many people in the Tang family at home. Because Lu Rong was injured, Grandma Tang had to handle the engagement party herself. Tang Xinglu didn't understand anything, so she just obeyed Grandma Tang's instructions. There are 2 pregnant women in the Tang family now, so the food is much richer than before. Yang Yanliu's pregnancy is still kept secret. After all, She is still young and it would not sound good to tell it. Every time Yang Yanliu comes to the Tang family, she will receive a supplement. Qian Yuman and Yang Yanliu's delivery dates are only 1 month apart. Yang Yanliu is relatively thin, and her belly is not visible at all at 2 months old. On the contrary, Qian Yuman's belly has been blowing up like a balloon every day since she entered 3 months. Others can't tell that her belly is much bigger, but she feels her belly expanding every day. Women, after all, love to look beautiful. After blowing up a balloon in my belly, I still feel a little emotional. I can no longer wear the beautiful clothes I used to wear, and I have to start wearing maternity clothes. In the past few days, Qian Yuman took Yang Yanliu to go shopping to buy maternity clothes and baby products. Qian Yuman already had a thorough understanding of pregnant women, while Yang Yanliu didn't understand anything. When she just learned that she was pregnant, she was at a loss. She didn't know what pregnant women should pay attention to, and she was not in the mood to understand the basic knowledge about pregnant women. It's basically a blank slate. Compared to Tang Xingai, Yang Yanliu is an idler. She doesn't need to worry about it. She doesn't know anything. She only needs to worry about the banquet list and the dress. The rest is basically decided by Grandma Tang. Qian Yuman took Yang Yanliu shopping. She was still quite embarrassed and her mentality had not completely calmed down. No matter what, Yang Yanliu is her student and will become a sister-in-law in the near future, and they are both pregnant. Yang Yanliu was still young, and Qian Yuman took her to visit a maternal and child products store. She was very shy and stood at the door, refusing to go in. Yanliu, what's wrong? Are you sorry? Qian Yuman burst out laughing when he saw her squirming look. Yang Yanliu's face turned red and he nodded slowly. Teacher, can I not go in? Qian Yuman shook his head and smiled. Now children have the courage to do human piston movements. I will be traveling in YN for the next half month. The update time may be unstable, but I will try my best to keep it updated 6 times. I can't do more. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 598. Chapter 598. Fei Chen wants to elope with Li Li too. Qian Yuman shook his head and smiled. Now children have the courage to do piston movements of the human body, but do not have the courage to bear the consequences. Now I know it is embarrassing. Go in. You have to slowly learn to accept it. When you get pregnant in the future, you will have to face fewer strange looks. Qian Yuman smiled and rubbed Yang Yanliu's head, put her arms around her shoulders, and half covered her, forced to go in. Walking into the maternity and baby supplies store, a waiter immediately came to greet them. He quickly glanced at Qian Yuman and Yang Yanliu, and looked at Qian Yuman with a smile on his face. This lady, do you want to buy baby products or maternity products? I'll take you to find out, please come over here. The waiter was very enthusiastic. He knew at a glance that Qian Yuman's family was well off, and his performance seemed to be rising again today. How long have you been pregnant, madam? It looks like your belly is more than 3 months old. You need. The waiter enthusiastically introduced what Qian Yuman needed. Qian Yuman did not listen, but walked to a pile of books, picked up the books that pregnant women need to pay attention to in the first few months, and handed them to Yang Yanliu. Take it, these are what you are going to see in the future. Yang Yanliu accidentally got 5 or 6 more books in his hand. Seeing that Qian Yuman wanted to continue taking them, he opened his mouth and said, Do you want to read so many books? Of course, when my belly gets bigger, I'll want to see more. I'm not afraid that you won't have time, but I want to give you all in one go. Qian Yuman will never tell Yang Yanliu that she has read 2/3 of the books here. 1 glance and 10 lines are all deeply engraved in my mind. How could a normal person read so many books? But she was bored recently and read dozens of notes. Pregnancy is a big deal for us women. For the sake of our bodies, We must know more about you. Don't wait for others to care about you. You must learn to take care of your own body, Jian Yuman told some of her experiences after pregnancy. The teacher's incessant education began again. Well, I will read it carefully, thank you teacher. Yang Yanliu stared at the book, his eyes firming up a bit. The waiters on the side looked back and forth at Yang Yanliu and Jian Yuman, wondering in their hearts, who are they? Listening to the content of their conversation, is it possible that the little girl next to you is also pregnant? She looks like she's still underage. Moreover, he called another young lady teacher? This plot, the waiter immediately imagined a variety of plots. Beautiful lady, I would like to ask if you are also pregnant, the waiter still asked with a smile on her face. Yang Yanliu's face turned red immediately, and he didn't know how to answer for a while. Finally, in the waiter's calm eyes, he nodded sheepishly. Yang Yanliu stared at the waiter, seeing that she didn't look uncomfortable after learning that she was pregnant, and felt a little relieved. This beauty is still young and needs to pay attention to many more things than an adult woman. I mind if you buy some more of these supplements. The waiter quickly promoted the product and what he said was very pertinent. Yang Yanliu looked at the waiter suspiciously. Wouldn't she think it was abnormal for her to be pregnant at such a young age? Noticing Yang Yanliu's doubtful eyes, the waiter smiled and took the initiative to laugh. Looks like you are nervous, but there is no need to be. Being a mother is a good thing, and you should welcome your new life with gratitude and joy. In fact, there are many expectant mothers who are as young as you. You must be anxious and afraid of the eyes of people around you. So you fit this book. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 599. Chapter 599. Fei Chen wants to elope with Li Li 3. The waiter brought another psychological book about pregnancy at a young age. Yang Yanliu took the book and quickly browsed the contents. A shy smile finally appeared on his face, unlike the frown he had when he just came in. He felt that everyone around him was looking at him and felt that he was a different kind of existence. Thank you, Yang Yanliu thanked him sincerely. Jian Yuman had another stack of books in her hands, put them all in Yang Yanliu's arms, and told the waiter to wrap them all up. The waiter smiled happily and happily took the book from Yang Yanliu and went to check out first. Jian Yuman and Yang Yanliu continued shopping. Jian Yuman was not polite at all and took a lot of things. The waiter on the side had a bright smile on his face, and his performance was about to increase again. Yang Yanliu has lived a frugal life since he was a child. He looked down at the pile of maternal and infant products in his hand and asked with a frown. Teacher, is it too much? There must be a lot of money here. Jian Yuman was holding a beautiful maternity dress in her hand. When she heard Yang Yanliu's words, she didn't care and gestured at her body with the dress. This maternity dress suits you perfectly. Oh, Yang Yanliu took it, flipped through the tag secretly, and was shocked when he saw the 5-digit price. What expensive clothes! Jian Yuman saw Yang Yanliu's movements and said with a smile. Don't worry about the price, the teacher will pay for it today. Yang Yanliu shook his head, how embarrassed he was. It's nothing. Before I got married to my husband, I couldn't bear to buy clothes for 4 figures, let alone 5 figures. I could just wear 200 or 300 clothes. They say that it is easy to switch from simplicity to luxury. Since marrying him, I have spent more. My ability has skyrocketed. Now that you are with Xingai, the Tang family won't even blink an eye if you buy something worth tens of thousands of dollars. My husband always thinks that I have poor spending power, and I can spend even 1 million. For several months, I have been thinking of ways to increase my consumption level every day. Jian Yuman's consumption level has increased from a few hundred yuan to tens of thousands of yuan, 100-fold increase. But Tangyuj still felt that she consumed too little. He said that his annual income was 11 figures, and it was difficult for her to even spend 6 figures, but she was disliked. Yang Yanliu shook his head and pushed his clothes back. I still don't want it, it's really too expensive. She used to think that a bag cost tens of thousands of yuan, which was very luxurious, let alone a piece of clothing. Qian Yuman didn't force it, but when paying the bill, she swiped her card. Yang Yanliu is not engaged to Tang Xingai yet. Tang Xingai is still a student and does not have much pocket money. Although she is given a card, she still spends it carefully. She does not immediately go to a luxury store to spend money like some women who join a wealthy family. Bundle. S municipal golf course. Tang Feishan took Qi Lile to the golf course to play golf. The two of them didn't communicate much in words, but they still had a lot of eye contact. Neither of them spoke much. But even so, we can still see the deep emotion in the other person's eyes. Lili, are you tired? Tang Feishan asked concernedly, taking out a handkerchief and gently wiping the sweat from her forehead. Qi Lili's cold face softened a bit. She looked up at Tang Feishan's handsome face, who was carefully wiping her sweat, and shook his head slightly. Let's go take a rest, Tang Feishan suggested. Qi Lili nodded in agreement, and Tang Feishan naturally put his arm around her shoulders and walked to the resting area, walking slowly to feel the flow of emotions between them. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 600. Chapter 600. Fei Chen wants to elope with Lili 4. Not far away, a golf course car drove slowly past them. Tang Feishan and the others did not see the people in the car, but the people in the car noticed them and stopped the car and called to them. Fly and sink. Tang Feishan heard a familiar voice calling him. He stopped and looked at the source of the sound. It was Tang Wentao who came to play golf. Dad, are you coming to play ball too? Tang Wentao looked at Tang Feishan expressionlessly, watching his arms hugging Qi Lili affectionately, while Qi Lili had a cold face and nodded at him to say hello. Huh, how rude, Tang Wentao said sarcastically. Qi Lili felt uncomfortable for a while, but she still said hello. Uncle Tang, hello, please forgive Lili for not saying hello properly. Tang Wentao snorted again. Who is your Uncle Tang? I can't afford it. Dad. Tang Feishan felt Qi Lili's body stiffen, and gently rubbed her shoulders to comfort her. Come here and play ball with me. Tang Wentao walked towards the special car with a serious face. Tang Feishan, who was about to take a rest, had no choice but to follow him again. Qi Lili was always talkative and not sweet. She didn't know what to say to ease the relationship with Tang Wentao, so she could only stand aside and accompany her silently. After Tang Wentao hit the ball far away, he walked in the direction of the ball. Tang Feishan followed his father, and Qi Lili was a little behind. When did you break up with Qi Lili? Tang's father asked his son. I will not break up with Lili. Tang Feishan's attitude was firm. He did not expect that his father would suddenly ask when he would break up with Lili. While answering, he couldn't help but look back at his girlfriend. Although she was lagging behind, Qi Lili's hearing was still very keen. When she heard Tang's father's words, her face darkened, and a coldness emitted from her body unconsciously. Tang Feishan felt a pain in his heart and lowered his head sadly. Tang Wentao was not satisfied with Tang Feishan's answer, stopped and spoke forcefully. You break up with her immediately. Dad. The friendly smile on Tang Feishan's face disappeared, and the decibel level of his voice increased a lot. What? Do you want to argue with me? You know that I am not satisfied with this daughter-in-law, but you still want to be with her, and you still appear in front of me together, behaving intimately, and you think I don't know? I have already given it to you enough time. Why are you disobedient and insist on being with this scheming woman? Dad, I will never break up with Lili. No matter what you say, I will never break up, Tang Feishan emphasized again, his tone getting firmer and firmer as he spoke, without hesitation. Tang Wentao was unhappy, his anger rose, and he swung the golf club in his hand heavily on the ground. Why are you so disobedient? How many times have you disobeyed me before, and now how many times have you disobeyed me for this woman? Do you think I will let you two be together? No matter what you say, Lili is my designated wife. I will never let her leave me, let alone abandon her during this time, Tang Feishan had already thought clearly. The more he disagreed, the more he strengthened his inner thoughts. You bastard! Tang's father threw the golf club in his hand to the ground and pointed angrily at Tang Feishan. You are becoming more and more disobedient now. Do you think I will continue to watch you two together? End of this chapter.